Hey everyone, welcome back to my house. Today I'll be reviewing X-Men 97, the show everyone's glazing and hyping up all this time. I'm reviewing both season 1 and season 2 because I haven't watched season 1 whenever it first came out. So yeah, stick around for that. And yeah, I'm not going to do a spoiler warning since this show's been out for a while, but I would just say go watch it. It's an incredible show. Even if you're not an X-Men fan, which I wasn't when I first watched this, I think anyone would have a fun time with this show. And I think it's a great way to learn some of the X-Men characters before Doomsday. Obviously watch the movies too, but this show I feel like is better than all of the X-Men movies from what I remember. But yeah, I think it's a fun way to learn about the X-Men before Doomsday. So I would definitely say give the show a try. It's definitely really good. And definitely one of my favorite MCU shows, if not the best. Alright, so jumping straight into this review, I'm just season 1 first and season 2. Just gonna try to speed run through this since I don't want to be talking about this for like an hour, but I honestly could with how good the show is. But first I wanted to preface that I did not watch the old show, the first X-Men show, entirely. I watched I think 2 seasons and I just got really bored of it. And I've seen people say online I technically don't have to watch the old show, so I just went straight to X-Men 97, which I don't regret at all because I was just gonna skip both of them because I just couldn't get through the old show. It just wasn't for me. So that might play a factor in my review since I'm not too knowledgeable on X-Men. This is basically like my first X-Men project. So yeah, keep that in mind. But I feel like for the most part I was pretty good even with the 2 seasons I watched, like getting introduced to like Jubilee and some of the basic characters. And I watched the old X-Men movies, but some stuff I didn't know, like I had no idea who Sinister was and stuff like that. But first thing I know is season 1, I love Cyclops' character. I wasn't too big on him on the movies. I thought he was alright, but I don't know. I guess seeing him done more justice to how his character is in the comics, apparently, from all the Cyclops fans. I just really loved his character. And yeah, I guess they do kind of do him dirty in the movies, but I feel like he's done great in here and he's way less annoying. I feel like I can really see his character and understand his character. And I loved his dynamic with Jean and their different ideals crashing, like if they should leave the X-Men or, if the professor wanted them to leave. And Cyclops thinks it's his duty to still take care of the X-Men. So I love that. And I loved Magneto. Like the introduction of Magneto was perfect. Like I think Magneto after both these seasons is like my favorite villain in fiction. Like he's definitely up there. Like I can't think of anyone else who comes close. Like, definitely the best MCU film. Like I think he's leagues better than Thanos, especially after how they ruined Thanos in Endgame. I don't even think it's close. But yeah, I think Magneto's definitely a way better villain. I'm excited to see him in Doomsday and just in the future in general, read some Magneto comics because he was amazing in this show. But yeah, I love the UN trial. Magneto giving his all, keep his promise to Charles and like not crash out because I thought for sure he was gonna crash out after like an episode in and like destroy the entire world like he usually does. But he really stuck through it and love seeing that character development and how like Charles' death is the one thing that made him really lock in basically and be like, all right, maybe Charles was right. Especially when he's like holding the judges in the air and like don't fail me, like sick. And I think that was the same episode we see Storm losing her powers, which was really sad. And I loved to talk about Jean. She had about like being normal and stuff like that. And dealing with her trauma that leads later on when deals with her trauma and gets back her powers. I think that was great. I think that arc was a bit slower compared to the main stuff because I loved the main stuff with the UN, Magneto. Like that was the main stuff I was in for season 1. But yeah, the Storm stuff was cool. I think the side plots I wasn't as interested in. Like the Sinister episode was alright, I guess. The fake out Jean is cool. I think it plays more of a factor in season 2. Professor X being in space and stuff like that. I was okay. Like I will say that's probably like my one main problem with the show in both seasons is that it can feel a lot is going on at one time. I don't know if that's because I never read any comics or watched the original show fully, but like, and I don't know these characters, but I do feel like at times there's so much going on with the plot. I kind of just wish it was one just coherent plot that just from beginning to start, kind of. But I still enjoyed the show a lot too, and the characters. So even though there is a lot going on, I'm still enjoying it. So it kind of balances it out. I would definitely say the Jubilee episode is definitely the worst episode of season 1. It was so boring, and I just did not care about her character at all. And the relationship with Roberto was kind of alright. I felt like it wasn't really built up too crazy. It kind of just happened. So I was like, okay, I still don't really care about these characters, but I will say I do care about Roberto a lot more in season 2. We get to see more of him, so that's cool. And I also said the You're Normal monologue from Cyclops when he's talking about the reporter and his dead son, basically. That was such a peak scene. I think that's probably one of my favorite monologues in the MCU from the top of my mind that I'm thinking of. So yeah, that was also peak. And talk about monologues, I love the Magneto was right monologue where the senator is just basically saying how Magneto was right. Like all these people dying at Shinosha wasn't scary. The scariest thing was that Magneto was actually right. I love that so much. And yeah, W. Orlo for Magneto. We gotta talk about like the best episode ever. Remember it? Everyone's gassing it up. I watched it and yeah, amazing. Probably not even probably. I think it's the best episode in the entire MCU. I think the Glaze is worth it. I think it's a top 10, maybe 15-ish episode of all of television. Maybe like a few Andor episodes, Atla and Breaking Bad over it. But other than that, it's definitely up there. It's such a great episode. It reads the season so hard. Like this is the main highlight of the season. Like I like this episode way more than the finale of season 1. And yeah, I don't think any episode in both seasons compares to this episode. It was just so great seeing Gambit's sacrifice. Like, Adley had me gasping at the end. Like, I was just at a loss of words. But yeah, that Gambit episode was something else. Definitely one of the best episodes ever in fiction. And I know I said I don't like rating seasons, but technically just came out like a while ago. So I guess if I had just watched season 1 and trying to take out my season 2 bias, I would have given it like an 8 out of 10. Pretty solid. There was a lot going on, but I still definitely like most of the UN plot, and I remember it helped a lot. Everything else I wasn't too big of a fan, but I still enjoyed it. All right, now moving on to season 2, which honestly I liked it as much as season 1. Yeah, obviously spoilers for both seasons. So yeah, go watch season 2 if you only watch season 1. But first off, I love seeing Nathan. I loved his character, and I did not know. I don't know if that's every adaptation that's their son, but yeah. So I was like, oh wow, I did not know that because I seen Cable on the old show, but I had no clue who this character was. So I think this really meant a lot more to me because I actually got to learn his character and his whole destiny and stuff like that. So I think that was really fun to learn his character, and it helps me care more towards the finale when he's going all crazy trying to kill Apocalypse. And yeah, I love Jubilee. Like her episode was so much better than the season 1 episode. I loved her picking up the X-Men mantle since everyone was gone, and she's like the only one trying to do stuff since there's so much chaos going on. All these mutants have nowhere to go, and yeah, I just loved her this season. She was just great. I wish they did that with her in season 1. So that really kind of helps balance out that terrible season 1 episode. Also, her and Roberto, like Roberto's parents, like turning him in and stuff like that was crazy. And yeah, I loved his character a lot more in this and his dynamic with Jubilee. So yeah, I think both those characters are just done. Maybe not done, but expanded on way more compared to in season 1. And also I love the different storylines, like the Apocalypse stuff, the future, past, present one. Like all the storylines were really good and interesting. Like each episode wasn't like, oh, we gotta go to this team again. The storyline's pretty boring. No, I was generally invested in all of these storylines, which I feel like is pretty rare when you're doing so many different storylines and plot lines and whatever, different perspectives and stuff like that. I feel like there's always that one or two perspectives or storylines you don't care about, but that definitely wasn't the case here. I definitely cared about all these plot lines, and I was excited to see where it would go next. So that was a big positive for me. And even though yes, my season 1 problem still extends here, there is still a lot going on, but I do think it's more coherent, I guess, compared to season 1, since all of those episodes are still related to Apocalypse and stopping Apocalypse. So I feel like that isn't too bad. It's just in different time periods, which I guess I can see how that can bother some people, but at least the same objective is the same. So I definitely like that a lot more in this season. Of course, Magneto's death, it really hurt me. I really do miss Magneto. I hope they bring him back somehow like they did with Gambit. But yeah, I need Magneto. He's such a great character. And just seeing Charles just not being able to do anything. Apocalypse quoting that ant quote like that he's not gonna kill Charles. It was just so sad. And it leads into the next episode where his trauma really causes conflict in the story with the danger room and stuff like that. So I love that. I just seen Charles' reaction, and yeah, I really do hope they bring back Magneto's death. I don't think it was as sad as Gambit's, but Magneto's death definitely hit me. Another episode that caught me off guard was the Wolverine Morph episode. I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be like a bottle episode, kind of like the Jubilee episode, which I was really worried. But honestly, throughout the season, or both seasons, I was really liking Morph's character, and I loved him a lot more in this episode, just getting to know him, and then just Wolverine's dynamic, like how he just did all that selfishly to get his claws back. but he doesn't feel himself. Like he just feels like that's his role and that he's trying to accomplish, which I never really thought about with Wolverine's character because I've always been slightly lower on Wolverine and I didn't really care too much about his character. I thought he was a bit overrated. But seeing this new perspective of Wolverine, because the show is just amazing, and just him throughout, and especially in this episode, seeing his dynamic morph since I know they have a close friendship, really made me like Wolverine's character slightly more. So I think I'm gonna definitely rewatch the old X-Men movies and, see how I feel about these X-Men characters, especially Wolverine, who I was a lot lower on before. This episode was great and way better than the Jubilee episode, by the way, so if you couldn't tell. Oh, Nightcrawler, this season 2, the whole core episode, but obviously we gotta talk about his sacrifice. That definitely caught me off guard. I did not think he was gonna sacrifice himself, so that really did catch me off guard, but I think that is for the best, so that Rogue and Gambit can be together, so yeah, it was definitely sad though, and it was definitely peak. Obviously, not to the same level as Remember It episode. I don't think anything's gonna get close to that sacrifice, but yeah, it was still great. A great finale. Still don't think anything comes close to the Remember It episode, but I still enjoyed it. And yeah, I don't really have any negatives about the show. Like that's really it. Just the whole plot not being too cohesive, I guess. But I also haven't watched the old show too, so maybe that's why I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on when I don't know for these characters. But yeah, not trying to have like a 20-minute video. So overall, my rating for X-Men 97 is a 8.5 out of 10. That's for both season 1 and season 2 combined. And yeah, like I said, don't really have any flaws, and I love this show. It literally made me an X-Men fan. I did not care about the X-Men at all. So now I am definitely an X-Men fan, and I'm definitely excited to see them in Doomsday. And I can't wait for season 3, honestly. I'm gonna have a fun time with it. I don't know if I would say it's no, I probably would say it's the best MCU show. Just out of enjoyment for making me care about these characters so much, and obviously some of the writing moments, like Remember It, Clear as Anything, and Born Again, to be honest. And we're just going along with that. But I think it's very close to Born Again, because I think I gave Born Again the same rating. But yeah, it's probably like in the same ballpark. But I think I might take it slightly over it because of enjoyability, and I just care about the X-Men now. Like I care about all these characters, and I can't say the same about Born Again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below on X-Men 97. Do you guys think it's like the best MCU show, best TV show in general? I think that's kind of crazy, but let me know if you guys are excited for Doomsday. And we had a lot more information and got the X-Men cast and stuff like that. So actually, let me know if you guys want me to cover like me reacting to news, like the X-Men cast and stuff like that, if you care about that, or if you rather me just stick with Warriors. Just let me know. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'll be reviewing The Emperor's New Groove, I believe, unless someone else comments something else. But yeah, hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next one.